Every Lego piece has this tiny little witness mark on it. Now, what is this witness mark? Well, this is where the hot molten plastic is injected into the cavity of the actual part on the injection mold. Now, why does every piece have this? Well, that's how the parts are made. That's how they're injection molded. I've talked about this in previous videos. But if we take a look at any Lego piece, you can actually find this. And what's interesting is some pieces have it on the top of the studs. Most bricks and plates have it. And then other pieces like tiles are on the underside and in different locations. Now, another interesting thing is all of these witness marks from the actual gate, it is called, we'll get to that here in a second, are located normally on the center of the bricks. Now, there's a reason for this, but I wanted to prove my point, and I went ahead and I dumped out a Lego bin just full of random parts, and I went ahead and located all of these witness marks on all the different parts. Now, you can see that all of them are in the center, more or less, of the brick, plate, tile, etc. Now, that is because in injection molding, you have to balance the flow of the plastic into the mold. If you were to inject this on, let's say, the far end of a piece, you might have issues making the parts. Now, most Lego pieces have an even number of studs, except for a few, so I wanted to go ahead and see if on a 1x3 brick, I wanted to see if my hunch was correct, that the witness mark would be on the center stud, not one of the far left or far right. And if we take a look, you can see, indeed, I am correct. And I'm assuming on the new 1x5 pieces, it would also be in the center as well. So another interesting thing there to look at. And then if we look at, let's say, a longer piece, you can actually see there's multiple gates because there's so much more volume and it's a larger part. You got to make sure you get enough plastic into the cavity of the mold. So you can see on this 1x16 piece here, there's actually 3 witness marks. And once again, they are spaced out evenly. And that is another interesting point. And then if we look at, let's say, a larger plate, this is a 6x8. You can see there's actually 2 witness marks adjacent from each other, opposite corners there, roughly in the center to get enough plastic into that cavity. And then, of course, if we look at, let's say, this is a 2x4 tile, you can see the witness mark is actually underneath. Now, what's interesting is there's a reason why it's not in the middle of that stud, and that's a whole separate video there, but it's more or less in the center, and you can see it there. And if we look at any other part, you can find the witness mark on these Lego pieces. So that is what we are looking at. We're looking at the witness marks and the gate. Now, I've talked about this before, but I want to do a quick recap. If we take a look, this is my own product. This is my Ultimate Craftsman tools. I did a video about this last week. And so taking a look at this, we can see this sprue, which is what it's called. It kind of looks like a tree branch. And then it goes off to the different cavities here. And each one of the cavities makes your part. So let's say you have a mold with 16 cavities. You're making 16 individual pieces every time the injection mold cycles. So that is what we're looking at here. There's 16 Ultimate Craftsman tools here on a sprue. Now, if we look at closer where the sprue meets the part, you can see depending on, there's a bunch of different types of gates, but this is what is connecting the part itself, the cavity, to the sprue. That tiny little piece of plastic, that is called the gate. Now, that's what, like I said, connects the sprue to the part. And that's what we're looking at on all these Lego pieces. So obviously the cavity or the part is the Lego piece itself. And then the sprue, we obviously don't see. Lego grinds those up, reuses that plastic and recycles it. And then that's what we're looking at. So each one of these parts, the larger the part, the more gates you're going to have and the more little witness marks you're going to see. So, you know, I showed the 1x1. There's only 1 witness mark there. But then I also showed, let's say, this giant 8x8 plate, and there's 4 witness marks there. So that it's all depending on the volume of plastic that you need to put into the mold and to make these parts successfully and with a quality process. Okay, then we can also take a look at, this is my blaster mold. So this makes all my custom Star Wars blasters that I sell on my website. I did a video about these, but I want to show you guys the sprue itself. So you can see here is the actual tree itself, and then you can see the parts and all those different cavities. And then, like I said, what connects the sprue to the part, that tiny little piece of plastic, that is called the gate. And if you look at any injection molded part, you will find a little witness mark of where the plastic was broken off or that gate was clipped off by hand, or sometimes there's automated systems that do it, you know, automatically. So there's another example for you. If we take a look at this arch piece, you can see once again, it can't possibly be in between the 2 studs because that's where the surface meets the other brick if you were to put something on top of this. But you can see it is on the rough center there. If we look at a 1x1 brick here, this is a modified headlight brick. You can see it's right smack dab in the middle of the top of the stud because that's the center of mass, more or less. Then if we look at this 2x2x3 brick, you can see it's off to one corner there. Once again, you can't put it in the center, so they just kind of pick a stud at that point. It would actually be interesting if I looked closer at these and noticed on 2x2 bricks if they always did the top left or if it changes. I'm assuming it would change, and you can actually see, let's take a look at a 1x2 brick. It is off to, it's actually on the top. So once again, you could see maybe some patterns if we looked at different bricks. It would probably also depend on how many cavities are in the injection mold itself. Look at this 8x8 plate. You can see there's actually 4 witness marks around each one of the edges there. You can see one there, there, and there. Another interesting, cool piece there. If we take a look at this Lego boat piece, this is actually, I believe this is 2 pieces that are fused together. And if we look at the bottom, you can see the gate witness mark is smack dab in the middle there. This is a very large, chunky part, so they got to make sure they get that plastic in the center of the part. Okay, while I was looking at some of these pieces, I found a really old Lego brick because I didn't notice any witness marks on the top of the studs. And then I also realized that the Lego logo looks a little bit different on these. It looks a little more bold and just looks a little bit different and older. Flipped over the brick, you can tell it's an older brick by how thick the walls are, but if you actually look inside, it actually says patent pending, so this is probably from like the 60s or 70s, and then I was like, okay, this is fun. Where is the gate mark or the witness mark that we just talked about? And it's actually on the side of the brick. You can see how ugly this is, just right on the side. It really messes up the clean look of Lego bricks. You know, if you were building something right next to it, obviously it would get covered up, but I love the way that Lego does it now where it's on the studs where you don't really see it. So just kind of cool to find this old brick and show you guys that this type of thing does change, but Lego's older pieces are not as good as their better new pieces. That is what we're looking at. I just wanted to do a very quick video showing you guys a cool little thing. Once again, trying to bring to the channel some knowledge that I've always known, and I want to show it to you guys. So I hope that you guys appreciate the Lego bricks and the Lego systems even more. I have plenty more videos like this I can do, so let me know if you guys want to learn more little tidbits on these videos and on my channel. Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, you can look at all your parts. It's actually kind of a cool scavenger hunt if you go ahead and just dump out some parts and you start looking at them and find, okay, where's the gate? Where was the plastic injected into this mold, into this part to make this a reality? So very cool. Absolutely love Lego's genius molding skills. It's absolutely amazing to just kind of look at and play with and see all the clever tricks they've done. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys haven't seen some of my other videos, definitely check those out on my channel. And then also, if you guys want to directly support me, BrickTactical.com, link in the description, and you can get some of those Ultimate Craftsman tools. You can get some of my other items that are injection molded. So other than that, I will see you guys in another video. Peace out.